Community before that with What You Give. Time now for this.
Arthur, you're coming to live with me now, okay? That's the bathroom. This is the living room. This is the dining room where people come and eat sometimes. Look, it's lonely out here, so you better learn how to talk with me.
Oh,
This is 2000.
sounds kind of sad, doesn't it?
It does sound sad.
That there is the trailer to Beginners. Lena Lamont is in for the film review. Good morning, Lena.
Good morning, Whammo. People listening are going to need some explanation for that trailer.
Yeah.
That's our Ewan McGregor. I say our. What do I mean? British Isles. Whatever. He's Scottish. That's Ewan McGregor doing a fine American accent. And the person that he's introducing, taking round the house, this is the dining room, is actually a little terrier dog.
Yeah.
So this is a quirky movie.
And from what I can tell, the dog had subtitles.
That's right. The dog Arthur talks back to Ewan McGregor in subtitles in this film. So that definitely says quirky, doesn't it? So as you say, this film's called
And it's a
Beginners.
focus feature as well.
So does that automatically mean
Well, kind of, yeah. Indie,
quirky, indie? Yeah. This is Indie As, and it's very nice for it. It was in the New Zealand International Film Festival recently, so some viewers will already have seen it. Basically, we've got Ewan McGregor playing a young... he's kind of a creative in advertising, but in a very kind of passive kind of way. His name is Oliver, and Oliver's mother has died recently, and his 75-year-old father, played by Christopher Plummer
Yes.
from The Sound of Music,
Yeah.
and many, many other things since, comes out as gay and says this wonderful quote, I don't want to be theoretically gay, I want to do something about it.
Oh, it's that film.
It's
Yeah.
that film,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Oliver takes this in his stride,
Yeah.
okay? So suddenly his dad is getting young boyfriends and going off clubbing and learning about house music
Yeah.
and wearing a bandana around his neck. And Oliver is the voice of this movie, and his voiceover is very low-key, kind of melancholic, very laconic. And there's this lovely little bit at the beginning where he sort of describes when my father came out as gay to me, he said, and then you get this little shot of Christopher Plummer saying, I don't want to be theoretically gay, I want to do something about it. And then Oliver's voiceover says, when I remember him saying this, he was wearing a flamboyant shirt, but in actual fact, he was just wearing a bathrobe. And it's kind of so,
Right.
there are a lot of visual jokes and kind of plays on seeing a scene one way and then realizing that wasn't actually how it was and that sort of thing. So Oliver drifts through life, as I say, melancholic, not very good at meeting people or young people. Meanwhile, his father is teaching him a lesson in a way on how to grab life by the horns at age 75 and really make something of it. So Oliver then kind of meets this young French woman, played by Inglourious Bastards' Melanie Laurent, who's turning up in lots of things nowadays. And he's starting to develop his own little relationship. And so it's just I was going to say ambling, but that implies that it's a little bit slow and not good. That's not the case at all. It's just a gentle meditation, I suppose, on life and love and all that sort of thing.
What a brave role for Christopher Plummer.
I know.
Yeah.
Because, right, I mean, I am a little bit of a Sound of Music fan, but that was 1965, yeah? But everything you've read about that film indicates that Christopher Plummer's not a very nice bloke, didn't like all the kids in the film, refused to carry the little fat kid, as he called her, up the hill as they go into, like, Switzerland or
Fair
whatever.
enough.
So, and since then, Chris Plummer's kind of been playing bad corporate kind of evil guys, right? And what an incredible role for him to take. And he's tremendous in this. He does it with a real twinkle in his eye. He's ever so slightly flamboyant without being crazy over the top. And his relationship with ER's Goran Visnik, I can't remember what Goran Visnik's character was in ER. He's the main guy. He's the main Croatian character.
Okay.
He's Dr. somebody, I know that much. So he's like major heartthrob. And he plays this young, kind of foreign, kind of fantastically gay young lover to Christopher Plummer. And their relationship is really cute. It's very real, but really nicely acted and kind of authentic and everything as well.
Cool.
So this is a neat film. This surprised me because I thought it could be overly, it's got all the whimsy, it's got all the little like Amelie kind of things, that animations across the screen and kind of little bits of indiness, but it actually really works for the film.
Great. Beginners is the name of that film. Let's see if we can hear some of this. what we are hearing is the trailer to a short film called With My Little Eye, showing at the Show Me Shorts Film Festival, making its way around New Zealand at the moment. Show Me Shorts, of course, a whole bunch of short films from Australia and New Zealand.
Well, this is the first year, apparently, they programmed outside of Australasia, so we actually have films from farther afield.
Great.
So as I understand it, there are 47 short films in the whole program, but when you go to the movies to one of these sessions, you don't see all 47. They've been themed into, I think, 6 or 7 films per session. So you get a proper movie length's worth of film out of going to the pictures, if you get what I mean.
Yep.
The program's great. You should grab a program. They're kind of hot pink, easy to spot, and you'll be able to choose the theme that suits you best of all. But of course, the thing is, right, several things with short films, you're just getting a little taste of different, what I like to say, different morsels of filmy goodness, right? You've only got to sit through 9 or 10 minutes of something.
Dipping in and out of stories.
It's dipping in and out, and what I think they do so well, I have to say, this is an expertly programmed, from the 7 or so that I've seen.
Yeah.
Expertly programmed festival, all of them have something of enormous merit, and I imagine it's because when a filmmaker is making a short film and they've only got 9 or 10 minutes, they've got to put everything into it.
Yeah. So
there's nothing superfluous. There's nothing that should really have been edited out. It's good quality. I liken it to a degustation menu in a restaurant. You know, you get lots of little bits and they're all awesome.
Did you see Ebony Society?
I did.
Because that took the main award, didn't it?
It did. I think it did. Was that on the opening night?
Yeah.
And that was actually one of the shorts in the New Zealand International Film Festival.
Right.
You know how there were a couple of New Zealand short films as intros to one of the main features. I thought Ebony Society is just a marvellous, wonderful New Zealand film. And there are several other good New Zealand short films in this. Well, there's Blue, which again was in the New Zealand Festival, and that was the one that also won a prize at Cannes earlier this year. Fantastic little piece about a cartoon character who is now in later life working in a Korean restaurant in Auckland, but still in his big blue outfit.
Yeah.
Like, to us on watching, he is only ever going to be Blue, the blue character from the children's program.
Oh, of course, Blue's Clues, is it?
No, it's not. I don't think it's a real program. This is the thing. But the film is just about what would it be like to be like a Teletubby, and then no one watches Teletubbies anymore. So what do you do for the rest of your life? So it's a little bit like this character reminds me of a Teletubby, and he's working in a Korean restaurant in Auckland and has that kind of melancholy of, well, where is life going now? You know. So Blue is a fantastic little piece. I saw Plimpton, which is another little Kiwi film about a great actor in this this guy who is at a party being overly kind of cool and chatting to this girl and talking about himself the whole time. And it's obviously a short movie about his sort of desperate pursuit of this girl who he fancies. Fantastic animated pieces. The whole thing, it's good. I say take a punt, yeah, because I reckon any session that you go
Just
to,
pop in there.
yeah, you will see proportionally 95%, or well, I guess you can't have 95% of 7, but you know what I'm talking about. 6 out of 7 films you're going to probably love, right?
Okay.
Maybe all of them.
Cool. All
So
right.
yeah, and that started on the 3rd of November. It's working its way around New Zealand as
Yeah.
we speak.
Show me shorts. And finally, a shout out to the Metropolitan Opera,
Yes,
of all things.
I know. I don't know if you remember earlier in the year we talked about the National Theatre in London, which televises some of its plays. We did Frankenstein, which was the most amazing play that the National Theatre have done, and they shoot it. So they've got actually people in the audience, but they film it for you, and then they send off prints around the world so that we in the Northcote Bridgeway in Auckland get to sit in a cinema and watch the play as if we were really there.
Wow.
So the Metropolitan Opera in New York does the same thing. So, again, you rock along to, in my case, the Northcote Bridgeway, but it will show it at some other of the sort of smaller indie cinemas around New Zealand. Metropolitan Opera series is on at the moment, right? And it's incredible. I know some opera, and there's a whole lot that I don't know at all. And generally, I thought if I wasn't familiar with the music, I probably wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I went to see Anna Bolena. It's about Anne Boleyn, right? Written by Donizetti. I didn't know the music. I know the story, obviously, but I didn't know the music. And I have to say, this one in particular, fantastic music, even if you've never heard it before. And the performances from this Russian soprano called Anna Netrebko, absolutely extraordinary. And I would say, for anybody who's never been to the opera before, you should probably take a punt on this, because
it's a good first one to get into.
It is a good first one to get into, but they're also doing Mozart's Don Giovanni and Verdi's La Traviata, so there's very accessible, kind of familiar opera in there as well. If you're into your avant-garde stuff, then you can do a bit of Philip Glass. But the point is...
It's not a grey power meeting, though, is it?
It's not entirely a grey power meeting. But also, you're not there to hang out with your fellow viewers, Ramo,
no, sure. But,
The point is, you've got excellent seats, because the camera takes you right in, gives you close-ups and all that, which you wouldn't get if you were sitting back up the back in the cheap seats of some theatre in New York.
Yeah.
The sound and everything is fantastic. And I took my opera-going father to a particular screening, and I said to him, did it feel like you're watching it on the screen? And he was like, you lose yourself in it completely. And he just thought it was absolutely marvellous.
Wow. And the sound there would have to be good.
Yeah, and the sound is good.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I would recommend that to anybody who's thought, I quite fancy seeing a bit of opera, because let's be honest, we don't get a lot of opera down here.
It's all the way from New York City
all the way from New York
to
City.
Northcote. Auckland City, New Zealand.
That's right. And also within only the space of like 2 or 3 weeks. So we're not getting stuff that's
cool.
like really old. So the season's kicked off already. Get in there. There will only be 10 or 11 sessions, I think, of each opera.
Yeah.
Reasonably priced, excellent seats, excellent everything.
Go and do it.
Go and do it.
The Metropolitan Opera. Thank you very much, Lena Lamont.
Always a pleasure.
Check out the film reviews in the Sunday Star Times. Also, lenalamont.wordpress.